Which global currency has outperformed all others during the coronavirus pandemic? The answer isn't a traditional currency at all, but gold. The precious metal that appreciated significantly following the 2008 Great Recession, gold crashed as global economies began recovering. But amidst another crisis, gold is now again in vogue, hitting an 8-year high this week. If you had purchased gold when the first reports of a pandemic were coming out of China in December, you would have profited over 20% by now. Why is this an important development, and why should you care? I'm Taha Arvas, and I'll tell you why, in brief. Traditionally, currencies have always been convertible into gold or silver ever since the use of paper money replaced actually carrying around precious metal coins over 300 years ago. This practice of convertibility was abandoned officially in 1971 by the United States, with other countries soon following suit. In the last 50 years, central banks and governments have said their currencies are no longer backed by gold, while simultaneously hoarding the precious metal to build confidence in their currencies. Apparently, gold never lost its luster after all. Gold is the go-to asset in times of crisis, especially financial crises. While relatively stable during the 80s and 90s, gold really took off when the dot-com bubble burst, followed by the post-9/11 economic crisis, with the rally really speeding up after the 2008 Great Recession. As quantitative easing picked up, a term I've explained in a previous In Brief episode, the value of the dollar decreased. If all currencies are priced in dollars, what are dollars priced in? Generally speaking, gold. As investors lose confidence in the dollar, the price of gold almost always appreciates. In 2019, central banks again began quantitative easing even before COVID-19 was a thing. After COVID, the Federal Reserve and other central banks are printing money with no end in sight, and investors are betting on gold. These central banks are actually trying to be a bridge to a vaccine, providing relief until a permanent solution to the pandemic can be found. Until then, however, it appears as if gold will continue to rally, perhaps past its 2011 peak. Whatever currency your wealth is denominated in, it will continue to lose value relative to gold as currencies are debased with more quantitative easing. Gold might be a good way to hedge against such a devaluation in currencies. If you believe that a vaccine is a long way off, or that this pandemic is just the first of many, then gold might be a good bet. If you think the pandemic and its effects are all but over, best to sell gold now and stick with traditional cash. Whatever your take, it's important to know how you can use gold to hedge against uncertainty in the future.